July 2022. Fabrizio Romano, as usual, shares a new insider. Japanese defender Mai Yoshida will continue his career at Schalke. At the end of the tweet, a small sentence: Yoshida turned down many offers, including Trabzonspor. So far, nothing usual, but soon the player himself retweets the insider's message because he's in shock. This guy is incredible, even my wife didn't know about Trabzonspor. Romano thanks the Japanese player and says that his wife would also benefit from subscribing to Fabrizio. In addition to 3 surprised emojis, this post has thousands of likes, thousands of retweets and comments. Such stories and numbers are commonplace for Romano. After all, more than 60 million people follow him on all social networks. No high-profile transfer can do without Romano. He participates in the presentation of players, records podcasts with coaches and managers, and any self-respecting fan does not believe in the transfer rumors until they're confirmed by Fabrizio. In today's video, you will learn: why did Fabrizio decide to engage in insiders? Where did he start and what does Gianluca Di Marzio have to do with it? How does he get insiders? Who came up with the signature "Here we go"? And how did Fabrizio become so popular and how he's changing the sport media in real time? And also, why does neutral Romano root for Watford in the championship? Does his "Here we go" always work? And finally, how much does he earn? This is the story of Fabrizio Romano, the most influential football insider in the world and one of the most important sport journalists of our time. Here we go.
Here we go.
Fabrizio Romano's story begins in Naples, in a family of avid football fans. As a young boy, Fabrizio realized that he was unlikely to become a professional player, so he directed all his passion for football towards writing. Even as a teenager, he started sending his texts to various small magazines. I realized that I wanted to be a journalist from an early age because I have always loved football, but I was not at the right level to play it professionally. That's why I immediately chose journalism. Also thanks to the first experience in a small site at 16, which made me understand that it was my path. That was the turning point in Fabrizio's life. After 6 months of working for a small website, meaning no connections yet because it was too early, an 18-year-old Romano received a call from Barcelona. An Italian man was on the other end of the line, ready to share an insider. He was working at La Masia at the time and wanted to become an agent for 2 young players. That's why he asked me to write a profile on them. The 2 young players were Gerardo Deulofeu and Mauro Icardi. Romano helped out, and the agent eventually signed the players and disappeared. It's not completely clear which middleman he refers to because before Vanda, Icardi had a Spanish agent, Abiel Moreno, with whom he worked with for over 10 years. In any case, Romano maintained a connection with someone from Icardi's circle or Icardi himself. So in the summer of 2011, when it became known that the forward was moving from Barca to Sampdoria, Fabrizio was the first to report it. He reported it and nothing much happened. Hardly anyone saw this scoop since 18-year-old Mauro was not yet a star and was moving from the Spanish youth team to Serie B club. However, Fabrizio didn't have to be disappointed for long. In November 2012, the mysterious agent called him again. He said that I helped him at the beginning of his career and now it's his turn to help me. The source revealed that Icardi was supposed to move to Inter the following summer. Most likely the agent himself needed this to promote the deal. In any case, Romano published the news 6 months before official confirmation. The insider turned out to be correct and Fabrizio's life and career changed forever. Romano moves to Milan, which he himself calls the transfer capital, and starts collaborating with Sky Sports Italia and meets its star, the country's top football insider at the time, Gianluca Di Marzio. It is Di Marzio who becomes Romano's first mentor. I owe everything to Gianluca Di Marzio. He taught me a lot. Di Marzio introduces the young insider to journalism, telling him about different tricks and showing him the main places in Milan where agents or players hang out the most. In return, Fabrizio also helps his mentor. For example, he creates a modern website and dives a little into social media. It is then that he realizes the power of new tech. The guy intuitively understands how different platforms work, what goes viral on them, and what subscribers really want. It was then that Romano decides to start his solo career.
Here we go.
Fabrizio's main asset is an impressive network that he has built over the years. I've used respect to build connections with many people in the football industry. Even after you've gained someone's trust, regular check-ins are still important. But just communicating a lot is not enough. The main secret here is mutual trust and being able to keep secrets and promises. Romano maintains relationships with dozens of agents, sports directors, and officials, but never names them. Besides, Fabrizio expands his network naturally and does not divide acquaintances into necessary and unnecessary. I try to maintain equally good relationships with both star agents and little-known players. My biggest news came from small sources, so I respect everyone. Fabrizio literally lives in messengers. In a recent interview with Flash Score News, the insider admitted that during the transfer period, he sleeps on average of 4 hours a day and makes 50 calls, answers thousands of messages, and spends almost all of his time on the net. I worked 20 hours a day, every day on transfers, and I feel really lucky. This is not hard work. It's hard in terms of time, but this is a dream job. I'm working in football. This is my dream. Here we go.
Here we go.
This is something like, let's go. For fans, here we go is equivalent to the club's official confirmation of a transfer. In an interview with the Sporting News, Romano talked about how this catchphrase came about. A few years ago, I was reporting a Manchester United transfer, and after 1 month of updates, I wrote, here we go. As if to say, everything is finally completed on this deal. From that day on, many followers on Twitter started asking me, can you say here we go also for this Arsenal, Barcelona or Liverpool deal? That's how the signature phrase, the foundation of a multi-million-dollar brand, was born not after agency brainstorms but simply from subscribers' suggestions. Yes, here we go is truly an important part of Romano's brand. It is listed on all of his social media accounts, is the name of the Insider's podcast, and the expression has become so popular that not only fans but entire clubs and players use it. Why? I'll explain now. 2021. Valencia asks Fabrizio to announce Marco Andres' transfer. The Italian records a video message and significantly draws attention to this move. After all, at that time Romano had 6 times more followers on Twitter than the club did, and Valencia's marketing department doesn't even hide the promotional nature of the deal. He's an extremely influential figure in the world of football. For us, this is the shortest path to global audience. Usually, clubs don't reveal news about transfers until the last minute, but Romano is an exception. So after Valencia, he popped up on Augsburg's social media and later on presented Lorenzo Insigne to Toronto fans, whom he admired even in childhood.
Here we go. Benvenuto a Toronto.
This is Fabrizio's element. By the age of 30, he managed to gather a truly enormous audience. Forbes even included the Italian in the 30 under 30 list. He has over 21 million followers on Instagram. For comparison, Marcus Rashford has only 16 and rockstar Grealish has 8. The total domination takes place on Twitter, perhaps Fabrizio's main media platform. Over 17 million people follow him there. His hometown club, Napoli, Inter and Milan, have 2, 3 and 8.5 million followers respectively. Fabrizio is not only good on the usual platforms, but also on trending ones. On the new social network Threads, the Insider has 2.6 million readers. That's more than Chelsea, Liverpool or Arsenal. For comparison, the founder of the social network, Mark Zuckerberg, has only slightly more than 3 million. The main factor of such success is his incredible work ethic. In this business, you can't relax. Even if you become successful, you need to keep working. The only way to achieve something big is hard work. At the end of the transfer window, Romano starts streaming on YouTube, where he manages to share insights, interact with guests, post new content, and communicate with different resources. According to Fabrizio, he's also responsible for managing all his social media accounts, and not only does he manage them, but he also does everything with maximum quality. For TikTok, it includes videos with subtitles, for Twitter, fresh news, and for YouTube, digests and shorts. In addition to social media, Romano also collaborates with many huge media platforms, and he hosts the podcast where, for example, he discusses Kvaratskhelia with his former coach.
Tarkov, yes,
Okay.
it was also a big problem because you understand.
This approach, language skills, and incredible work ethic have ultimately led to Fabrizio surpassing not only football clubs, but even media companies in terms of media coverage and audience. For example, he has more subscribers than ESPN Football. But is it only about the subscribers? How did one independent journalist become the most popular person in the football transfer niche? This became possible thanks to two things. First, the change of sports media, and second, the change of football itself.
Here we go.
It turns out we're not the only ones who enjoy discussing transfer rumors. Football fans have been doing it for 100 years. In England, for example, newspapers with transfer news from as early as 1930 have been preserved. However, Italy, the home country of our hero, is the most obsessed with money and transfers. You have to remember that for a long time, we had 4 daily newspapers devoted to sport, says TV presenter Enrico Mentana, who began his career at Gazzetta dello Sport. For those newspapers, Mentana said, transfer stories were the only way to sell copies in the summer when there were not any games. They were aided and abetted in turning player trading into a spectacle by the presidents of the country's biggest clubs. The owners were great industrialists, scions of great families, he said. For them, attracting a big star from South America, say, was a chance to show their greatness, their power, and to give a gift to the people. However, everything changed with the advent of social media. Thanks to platforms like YouTube, Twitter, and others, the media industry has become faster, more clickable, and more personal. Authors now have the freedom they could only dream of before. Now they can directly interact with readers, share their thoughts without censorship, and build an audience that will follow them regardless of their place of work.
People are not waiting for an update, maybe for the TV show on night, or maybe for the paper on morning to have the update. They want to update immediately. I think this is the process: to be fast, to show your face, and to be reliable. I think this is the real revolution.
There is no problem with Fabrizio's face. We see it all the time on YouTube and Twitter. Yet with points 1 and 3, the story is a bit more challenging, and here's why. Due to information overload, journalists literally compete for our attention. They need to publish news faster than their competitors, even if only by a couple of seconds. Hence, there are so many inaccuracies, fakes, and errors. This is exactly where Romano differs from the rest. Fabrizio doesn't strive to be the first, although sometimes he succeeds. His main goal is the maximum accuracy. That's why he posts insider information only after confirming it from 3 different sources. I respect all market participants, agents, directors, players, and fans. They all know that I'm not selling anything. I write about things when they are ready and I'm sure about them. People, more than anything else, want to know that they are reading the truth. Essentially, Fabrizio combines the reliability of traditional journalism with the speed of blogs and social networks. And this is the first reason for his massive following.
Here we go.
It wasn't only the media that changed. The football in general made a revolution, especially the approach to transfers. This is another reason why Romano is so popular.
I think in the last 6-7 years, where the transfers completely changed. Now people are waiting for transfer news more than team news to know what is the lineup of their team. They prefer to know who they're signing than maybe watching a football game.
After adopting the Bosman ruling, the transfer market changed forever. The Bosman ruling is a law that allows players to move freely to a new club after their contract expires with no additional fee. So a year after the law was passed, Ronaldo broke the transfer record by moving to Barcelona for 50 million euros. 5 years later, Zinedine Zidane moved to Real Madrid for almost 80 million. And of course, you already know what happened in 2017 and how much PSG paid for Neymar. Along with the transfer fees, the transfer process itself has also changed. Now, not only club directors, players, or agents know about it, but also their assistants, social media managers, various officials, and the players' closest friends. This allows for even more unique information to be obtained and creates a real show. As transfer fees increased, public interest in their coverage also grew. Fans created countless forums and videos to discuss rumors, and major media companies bought entire transfer-focused resources like Transfermarkt, for example. And when there is a large audience somewhere, businesses and contracts will inevitably appear. That is why clubs started paying much more attention to the publicity of their transfers, and now it's no longer just press releases. Teams hire entire agencies to prepare media campaigns and various other marketing activities. And this in turn helps journalists like Fabrizio Romano.
Here we go.
It could be said that Fabrizio is kind of indifferent to top clubs in Italy or Europe in general, and when it comes to transfers, Fabrizio remains neutral. and that's why many people like him. So it was even more surprising to learn that despite all this living in Naples and Milan, Romano supports Watford. Honestly, I support Watford because it has been my club on FIFA and Football Manager since 15 years, and because of their Italian ownership. I'd like to come back at Vicarage soon, Fabrizio tweeted in 2019. But it was in 2013 that Romano truly fell in love with Watford. On his YouTube channel, he talked about watching the game for promotion live and forever remembered the crazy finale. So in the first away match, Watford lost 1-0 to Leicester. In the home game, the Hornets were leading 2-1, but due to the away goals rule, Leicester still advanced. Added time, 96th minute, and the visitors earned a penalty. It seemed like it was all over. However, goalkeeper Manuel Almunia had a different opinion. He first saves the shot, then the rebound. Then a counterattack begins, and in the 97th minute, Troy Deeney sends Watford to the playoff final. Well, after such a match, it's understandable to fall in love, both at Vicarage Road and for Fabrizio at home.
Here we go.
It's not a secret that some of Romano's insiders don't come true. The recent example is Hakim Ziyech. Here we go appeared next to his name twice, and both times it didn't happen. However, it's not just about the insider. Romano wasn't lying when he tweeted that the transfers were almost finished. 6 months ago, everything was already agreed upon with PSG, but the London team messed up the paperwork 3 times. It all happened on the last day of the transfer window, so the clubs simply didn't have enough time to complete the deal. The summer move to Al Nassr was also already decided, but before signing the papers, details about Ziyech's old injuries came to light. Another beloved club of Romano is Barcelona. The insider said Wijnaldum and Rabiot to Catalonia, but both changed their minds at the last moment and went to PSG and Juventus respectively. And there again, it's not Fabrizio's fault. Wijnaldum had an agreement with Barca. They had already planned his medical examination, but then PSG came and doubled this salary. In the end, the Parisians intercepted him within 24 hours. Another failed "here we go" is related to David Silva, who, after leaving Man City, agreed with Lazio, but after consulting with his family, returned to Spain and chose Real Sociedad. Wijnaldum, Rabiot and Silva, they were all free agents, and according to Romano, they are the hardest to deal with because players without obligations can unexpectedly change their minds, especially at the very last moment. When the deal is made between clubs, such mess-ups are practically excluded.
Here we go.
Now to the sweetest part of the video: how does the most famous football insider make a living? He doesn't have contracts with football clubs and doesn't receive commissions for the transfers he talks about, although some believe that he still gets a percentage from some deals. In fact, there are many ways to monetize such a profession, and the first one is freelancing. Romano is not your typical freelancer. He doesn't look for orders on Telegram or Upwork, or work with his laptop in Bali. In this case, freelancing means that clients find him and offer him various work. He receives different amounts for each specific case or project, not tied to any rate, fixed fee, or salary. For example, promotion of the Sorare show, a mix of NFT and fantasy football, announcements of completed transfers for clubs such as Valencia or Toronto, which we mentioned earlier. Apart from transfers, Romano's platforms can also be used to cover a particular player's position or an entire club. Yes, media coverage and PR pay well too. For example, a football player wants to move to another team. His agent pays Romano to give his opinion on the potential transfer and in turn put pressure on the club. The second source of income is a salary. In addition to freelancing, Romano also collaborates with The Guardian, CBS Sports, Gazzetta dello Sport, and others. Apart from writing articles, Romano is also a frequent guest on many TV channels and radio stations. For example, he often provides analysis of recent transfer events for Sky Sports, and occasionally he even acts as a commentator on BT Sports and Sky Sports. According to various resources, Romano's total salary ranges from $300,000 to $1.5 million per year. The third income stream is social media. Almost 2 million people are subscribed to Fabrizio Romano's YouTube channel. Needless to say, with such a large audience and average views of 300,000, the insider makes good money only from monetization on the platform. There are also integrations and live streams. I won't list other social media platforms, but I will say that Fabrizio earns around $87,000 a month from Twitter monetization. His annual income from small tweets alone amounts to $1 million. It's easy to guess that Romano also monetizes other platforms pretty well. The fourth method of monetization is direct advertising. Fabrizio has been sponsored by various companies, including Heineken Brewery, Socios, a fan app which sponsored his podcast, Here We Go, Turkish Airlines and Adidas, which he mentioned in his tweets. In addition to this, there are various ads, one-time advertisements, and long-term contracts, like the one with NordVPN. Next is his own projects. This is the fifth position. One notable example is Sauce Fanta, the most popular fantasy football community in Italy, which Romano created in 2014. The amount of money this platform brings to the insider is unknown, just like the other projects that operate under his guidance. However, it seems that a total income of over $2 million a year from everything else is enough for Fabrizio.
Here we go.
So what is Fabrizio Romano's secret and why has he become so influenced and popular? As always, there are several main reasons. First, unlike other insiders, he doesn't chase all new rumors and rush to be the first to publish it. Fabrizio only posts what he's absolutely sure of. Number two, he is super reliable and honest, both towards us and his network. That's why dozens of agents and sporting directors trust him with their secrets. Fabrizio is a true man of his word. He can sleep for 4 hours and work and communicate for 16 or 17 hours a day. And yet, he easily writes to even lesser known players in private messages. I remind you, this guy has over 60 million followers. 4. Romano combines the best of everything: the power of social media, viral formats, and the reliability of traditional media. And also, he truly enjoys what he does, works very hard. Whether it all comes down to the fact that Fabrizio has zero to no competition or he's just on another level, I've been wondering whether I should ask if there is any other insider you like a lot. If you watched until the end, let's do one little thing. How about mentioning Fabrizio Romano in the comment section? Who knows, maybe he would have some time to watch our video. Hit the like button if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear more stories like this. See you next week. Know the ball.